Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the investors presentation. We are from One United Insurance. I have, as part of this presentation, my name is Shivkumar, and there is Deputy CEO. I have Yaya, who's the General Manager of Claims, to my right. And on the other side, I have my CEO, Mr. Muthukumar, and Madam Lata, who is the DGM Finance. We would like to probably take about 20 to 25 minutes to take you through this presentation, to give you a heads up on what has happened, how we have done up to 30th of June results, and what is the kind of way forward. So as a precursor, this presentation is briefly prepared for the benefit of the investor community. And the disclaimer is that any forward-looking statements in the presentation may kindly be used cautiously in view of the challenges. Are you able to see the screen fully, please? Screen. Yeah.
Screen is not coming. Yeah, the keyboard will appear. Escape on it.
Sir, it's okay. We'll move ahead. You can call me. Yeah. So as far as our mission and vision is concerned, we have continued to reflect ourselves as a stable, sustainable insurance company with a view on cash dividends to the shareholders. Of course, we aim to doing quality business in the market with the challenges, with seamless kind of delivery for in case of quick settlement of claims, which should enhance the customer experience. As far as the awards of recognition are concerned, I think we've added the 2 awards, which is relevant for the current year. So we had an award bestowed by OER for exemplary customer service and claim settlement, and we have also got an award for the top brand. In the last 1 year, there has been a conscious attempt towards building the brand, and we have used multiple platforms, including social media, to ensure that we are able to reach out to these customers.
They can see.
Yeah. As far as the company is concerned, for the benefit of people who have been who are new and hearing about the company. So it's an old company, conservative, 1985 established with a 2 million capital increase to 10 million later. And we are currently maintaining the 10 million capital, which is required as per the regulations. In addition to this, I think we have an additional contingency reserve as per the requirements of another 10 million. And we have also reached the minimum legal reserve capital for 1/3 of the paid capital. So from our standpoint, we have not had any appropriations from net profits. As far as our board is concerned, it's a stable continuity board. Our chairman, Syed Salim bin Nasser Al Husseini, is there since 1985. Our deputy Saudin Ahmed Al Nari, he's been our deputy chairman, and our audit committee chairman is Nasser bin Khamis Al Hassar. And also all the board members, there has been a continuity, and there is a continuity in the board for the next 3 years also. As far as senior management team is concerned, more or less stable senior executive team. We have 9 people. Most of them, you will observe, have been members with OUIC for over 10 years. Mr. Musa is our company secretary who joined in 2020 and continues in this role as the company secretary and investor relations officer. So coming to dividend history, the company has paid since inception 47.6 million, and over the last 15 years, we have been consistently dividend paying. In the last 15 years, we have disbursed 38.6 as cash dividends. Coming to an update on the distribution channels, not much change in comparison to the last quarter. We have done some reviews in the last quarter. However, some minor changes are there. However, the total number is about 12 branches. We have tied agents of about 35 numbers, marketing agents are 25, and we operate with about 20 odd brokers in the market. Our aim and approach has been to maintain long-term and consistent relationship. Not only in the front end, which is the business sourcing channels, but also on the back end, which is the reinsurance partners. We have had good relationships, and we have their support all along. Our reinsurers are also more or less the same panel. As far as the results are concerned, you will observe that the insurance revenue was 17.5 million. So up in comparison to the last year, 6 months of 15.6. Insurance service result, which was 31st March 2024, was negative 1.4, has stabilized after a lot of steps were taken, and it's now at about 8.28. We will slowly see the improvements emanating from that. Insurance investment service result as 2.2 million versus a 2.6 million. Overall, the net profit for the year, 557,000 against 1 million last year. So we will hopefully see some corrections on the net profit going forward with more earnings coming in. And the total comprehensive income for the 6 months is 1.1 million against 843,000 last 6 months of 2023. So we are a composite insurance company writing general insurance business, medical, as well as life business. And our portfolio mix is a fairly balanced portfolio. So it is not skewed to one line of business. We have a fair mix of almost 5% on the medical and life, for about 48-49% on the motor, and 50 or 51% on the non-motor. So it's a good mix to have considering the challenges in the market. As a summary of the financials for OUIC, you would see that the balance sheet total asset size is 91 million, paid up capital is 10 million, shareholders equity is 26.3 million, and this includes a contingency reserve of 10 million. Overall, our investments strategy has been conservative. Last year, we changed a little bit on this, and we have 58.5 million as total investments, out of which 70% is in deposits and banks. Net profit, as I said earlier, was 557 for the period up to 30th June in comparison to 891 last. Overall, on a solvency surplus criteria, we were at 17.7 billion. The regulatory requirement calculations were at 9.2 billion. So overall, we are at a decently comfortable situation as far as solvency reserve is concerned. So accumulated contingency reserve, as I said, was 10 billion, and we have a strong corporate governance framework, which is reflected in our culture and relationships. I think we have gone through this, but as a summary, overall net profit at 557,000, and if you see total comprehensive income of 1.156 against 843 last year. Now, coming to the balance sheet, as I said, 91 million was the asset size. Overall, you will see a continuity in maintaining the balance sheet strength. Our deposits, you will see, is a fairly reflection of a fairly good kind of support base on the investment income side. On the liability side, again, 26.3 million or 4 million is on shareholders' equity. Then you have overall liability is there, 64 million plus 26 million on the shareholders' equity. I think a little bit of changes have happened as far as the property and investment in property is concerned. We made a change in our philosophy. We had rented out the garage, automobile garage, which we were having up to 31st of December. We have hired it off and leased it out, which gets us a kind of income of about 180,000 for the year. And this garage is in Gala in Muscat, and it's a partly leased out garage. So that is the reason you're seeing a change in the investment in property, because there is a right of use asset for us, and including the head office that we have in Alcoy. So some changes as a result, some investment in property has changed. Seeing a small change in the values from 1.9 to 2.2. Otherwise, more or less a stable balance sheet position. Not much of change as far as the shareholders' equity is concerned. You would observe that we had a 3 million outgo as a result of the dividend given out. Anything more to add? So on the investment strategy, we will continue cautiously on the equity side. We are not losing out opportunities. We have done some equity investments depending upon how the market moves, but we feel we are fairly safe as far as our strategy is concerned on. We've also gone ahead with some investments in the mutual funds as a temporary cash flow placements, and that has also been giving decent returns. Coming back to the immovable properties of the companies, as I reflected earlier, we have two properties. One is our head office building, where we have a 9-story building. We use 2 floors for our operations on the insurance business. The market value of the property is 4.3 million. We have an unrealized appreciation of 2.28 million there. And then the garage property also, as I clarified, we have 20,000 square meters of land which was used to be an automobile workshop for us, which we have leased out to another automobile workshop. And we are taking the return on the rental income there. And we also use a portion of that property for keeping our claims vehicles parked there until assessments are completed. So overall, on this particular asset also, there is an unrecognized appreciation of 1.99 million. Overall, for both the properties, 4.27 million. As far as Oman United is concerned, being a fairly conservative, stable company, we have invested in our human capital. We have about 203 members as on June. Organization percentage of 87%. We also have a fairly good mix of senior management team members who are Omanis, and so we have a fair amount of roadmap laid down for trainings and workshops for our people. So the whole effort is towards transitioning it over the next 2 or 3 years, so that we are having more stronger teams from the local knowledge perspective. As far as IFRS 17 implementation is concerned, it certainly had challenges for all, including us, but we have been successfully able to complete it within the timeline given by the regulators. Our reserving methodology continues to be conservative. It has been, we have actuaries of repute who are overseeing our reviews on an ongoing basis. Every quarter we undertake this, not only for IBNR, but pricing. And we have continued with the partnerships on a fairly strong note. We don't see any concerns there. Well, from the challenges perspective, competition levels are high across lines of business, whether it is motor or medical. We see a fair amount of competition on the pricing side. But we made a departure last October and then reinforced it in March and May this year where we did some price corrections, led the markets with some price corrections on the motor, as well as certain systemic changes so that we are able to have improved systemic controls. This has resulted in change of the portfolio mix to some extent as we expected. It is not unusual, and we are seeing overall a correction of the portfolio, I would say, with regard to the exposures which we are writing on the motor vehicles. Correspondingly, we are seeing a decrease in claims, number of claims which are coming as a result of the change in pricing strategy as well as the renewal retention strategy over the last 6 months. As far as Almaty, which was an event in April, it did impact, but it was not as big an event as far as catastrophic event is concerned compared to the earlier events. However, broadly, our estimates initially were in the range of about 2.3 to 2.4 million. Not much on the motor side, but on the non-motor side, as a 2.4 million as a gross kind of claims, which is fairly well protected with the reinsurers. There are no challenges. We have strong partners, and we have done the recoveries on an ongoing basis as this moving towards closure of the claims. So overall, our gross reserve was about expectation of 2.3 to 2.4, which was probably less than 1.9 as on date. We expect it to be in the range of between 1.6 to 1.8. Medical continues to be a challenge with low pricing and higher frequency of claims. We will be looking at the compulsory medical piece as it comes along as an opportunity. But again, adequacy of pricing and all this we need to be careful about. And lastly, on the collections of premiums, new business is certainly emanating, but we have to be careful when we are writing new business. So we have to be sure on the correction of premium. Otherwise, with IFRS 17 regulations coming in, we don't want to be hit both sides. So we have continued a conservative strategy on this, but there are challenges as far as collection of premiums are concerned. On the future outlook, we will expand equity investments. It has been conservative, but I think we expect 31st December to be on track as far as our projections are concerned. Digital marketing presence is something we are working towards. We have a 4-month plan laid down, and hopefully by December, January, we are aiming to have at least 4 or 5 products of this shelf where the customers will be able to take policies through online. Non-motor business has seen stress, but we are stable as far as that business is concerned, as we have strong partners on the reinsurer side. We would like to state that generally our treaties for the general business are due on 1st of July for renewals. We did not see too much of a challenge as far as our renewal was concerned. We were able to place the treaties within 48 hours of our final decisions. And partners who have been there, they have continued. There is not much of a change in the program. So that's good because this has to be seen in the backdrop of the increases or capacities which would be undertaken for either the peers or as an aftermath of the impact from Dubai. So the losses in UAE were high, and therefore some kind of tightening was already attempted. And we expect that to also continue leading into 1st of January. Thank you. We are open for questions.
There's no questions. Hello.
Any questions, please?
Can you highlight combined ratio? Somebody's asking,
Sorry.
some question came. Amit was asking, it's coming and somewhere in the comments, it was,
Combined ratio ended.
you can see the notes.
Will you be able to spell out the question, please?
Amit,
Mr. Amit?
you can unmute.
Yeah, sure. So I wanted to know the combined ratio and the retention ratio across the segments.
Across the segments for which line of business?
For motor and non-motor, for both.
Yeah. Audit is listening.
Yeah.
Can you?
We will be in the range of 102 on the combined. And hopefully with more earned premiums coming in and losses getting controlled, this is likely to improve in the third and fourth quarter.
You talked about the focus on non-motor business growth. So can you give us some brief on it? Like how do you plan to go ahead about it, and what will be the steps taken to gain more traction in that sector?
Yeah. On the non-motor side, we are expanding our distribution reach through the brokers. We currently operate with about close to 9 brokers on the non-motor side. We'll expand it to about 14. But this is keeping in view the fact that there are opportunities in the market, but we are mindful of the premium collection issues. We don't want to be targeting with a lower price. So as I said earlier, as a conservative strategy, we place ourselves in the middle of the market. But we are fairly well placed because the insurers have been supportive. We have higher capacities in the market compared to others. So we are well placed as far as our treaties are concerned. So it's a combination of a better capacity, which will help us to focus more. And additionally, on the distribution side, we will add about another 5 to 6 brokers so that our non-motor kind of hit ratios improve. Any other questions, please? We should enjoy, sir.
Waiting, you know. Able to listen?
He said yes. Any further questions? That's it.
Sorry.
Vote of thanks. No. Okay, since there are no further questions, we would like to wind up the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. We thank everyone, including the capital market FSA as well as MSM for having organized this. And thank you for your time. And look forward to any further interactions going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you and shukran.
Thank you so much.
Come.
Stop. Recording stop.
there.
Not there,
Go to
that,
more, go to
that
more.
more. Yes, stop.
Record runs it. Oh.
Stop. Stop.